What's up, Fanatics? It's 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and that means another episode of Home Theater Fanatics Live. Tonight, we have a great episode for you. Joining us, we have Per Becker from M&K Sound and Steve March from THX. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Thank you for having
We're
us.
doing
Really appreciate
very
it.
well. Thank you very much, and thank you
Awesome.
for having us.
Oh, no, glad to. This is super exciting because, you guys represent two brands that I really, really, really like. Obviously, I'm all in for home theater. I do a lot of other stuff too, but man, I love the technology and the toys and the electronics. And, M&K Sound represents, one of the I guess most lauded speaker manufacturing companies for years now. You've made monitors that countless movies have been mixed on, and then THX. I grew up with THX as I'd go to the cinema and I'd watch movies. That's my, that's the best I can do for the sound, right? So it's really exciting for me to have both of you on the show. But I think for everybody else out there in the world that might not be, this deep in this kind of stuff like I am, maybe we could do a little bit of introduction first, so everybody can kind of understand who you are and what your companies do. So Per, maybe we start with you.
Thank you very much. My name is Per Becker. I'm located in Denmark. I am the CEO and owner of M&K Sound and have been that for the past 15 years. M&K Sound is the inventor of the subwoofer. So back in 73, they started by basically separating the speaker from a low frequency to a mid and high frequency. And that is the basis of M&K Sound. Over the years, we have had a lot of products approved and used in the pro world. So we also like to call us the choice of professionals. It's very important for us to have that relationship with the pro world. And I also think that we are one of the oldest customers or partners with THX. We were there when they started. We are 10 years older than THX. And I also think that we were probably the first or the second. We're the first company alive today that has THX certified products. And I also believe that our cooperation with THX and what they stand for is, what should I say, down our alley.
Right. Well done. No, that's great. And Steve, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Martz, VP of Global Technology for THX. I've been with THX for about 25 years now, so I've seen a thing or two, and I've been here for most of those years that M&K has been. I'm in charge of, my team's in charge of the certification for products like this, and amongst other things. And it's been great to work with M&K and Per through all these years, and many sort of aspects of their business. Actually, their Per mentioned the subwoofer, and the subsat sort of a combination where you have a one box dedicated to lower frequencies and then another box dedicated to mid and highs. That's a fundamental component to home theater, right? And that's been a great kind of strategy to minimize the size of those speakers and getting them into your home from out of the cinema. So that's been something that's been great. I've worked with Per's products in studios, cinema studios, doing small sound design rooms and other things throughout the years, plus music. So it's been quite a long relationship on many aspects working with M&K, and we're very proud of that partnership over these many years.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Now, just to dig a little bit more in for folks, so I'm going to share up my screen, and this will be the M&K Sound website. And let me go to the top to products, and this is just to show people, the kind of things that M&K Sound produces. So you see a lot of in-wall speakers. You have a lot of monitors. You've got subwoofers. You've got on-wall angle speakers. But, the thing that we want to talk about today and, kind of what brings together THX and M&K Sound are some of these new products that have just released, I guess, in the last 6 months. And, the X15 Plus subwoofer, the X10 Plus, the X12 Plus, along with the V15 Plus, V10 Plus, and V12 Plus have all just hit the market. And these are really super exciting pieces of equipment. And yeah, Per, maybe you can tell us a little bit about, what makes these special. And then we can kind of dive in a little bit, talk about how THX is involved with the products and that kind of thing. But from a high level, what are these and kind of what do they represent out to the market?
Yeah, thank you. So if you take the V series, we have three products. They are single driver units. We have a philosophy here that all our products are sealed boxes. One of the key things for M&K Sound is that we want to reproduce the sound the best possible way. There's no coloring, there's nothing. It is as clean and as possible. And if we take the V series, we have three models in that. It's pretty simple because we have a V10, which has a 10-inch subwoofer. We have a V12, which has a 12-inch, and then the 15, which has a 15-inch woofer. It's a single driver. The 12 and the 15 is THX certified. And I would say they are more for home, smaller home theaters or stereo setups. We try to make them more, household friendly, with the curved cabinets and so on. But the key is still that the performance has to be second to none. Our philosophy is we don't put anything into a product unless it does something good for the sound, and we don't want to go overboard, meaning that you can put many things in and spend a lot of money putting things into products. And we don't necessarily want to do that. We want to make affordable products. Now, affordable is obviously a relative term, but we want to be the best price performance thing. So our V series is a single driver subwoofer series, whereas the X series is basically two Vs. So it has two drivers. So that's our push-pull version. Comes the same philosophy where you have the X10, which has two 10-inch woofers. The 12 has 12-inch woofers, and the 15 obviously has 15-inch woofers. Now they are used a little bit more in more dedicated home theaters, as well as, of course, in the pro world. The key thing is that you want to have enough of everything, and that's what they deliver. Enough of everything, in our opinion.
Great. So let me just jump in real quick. So now I think all of the plus the X's are THX certified and two of the V's are certified. So Steve, what does that really mean to a customer when you say, okay, these are THX certified, and I think the X15 Plus is Dominus certified, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
What does that represent to them? What kind of expectation does that build for the customer?
Well, one, we have certification classes, and I think that's really super important when we're talking about purchasing something. You're like, well, I have a room of this size, and what kind of products do I need for that? So customers can look at, we mentioned THX Dominus, which is our largest class. And those are for rooms of, 185 cubic meters, maybe about 6 meters listening distance, 3 rows of seating. So you're looking at, a good size home theater. Like, well, I've got this big room. What do I put in here? Like, how do I know I have the right products for that? Well, that's what our categories do. And they help you make purchasing decisions about that and say, okay, well, I have a THX certified Dominus speaker, this X15 Plus, like that's the perfect one for that room, so I can set up all my speakers and everything, but I know this sub is going to take care of what I need for the low end in that space. Likewise, looking at the other products and into our THX Ultra, which is our oldest category for rooms of 3,000 cubic feet. It's like 85 cubic meters and about 2 rows of seating. You're looking for the THX Ultra, which is a performance class that is probably pretty common for a large home theater, and then you can have select for a more of a smaller home theater. And these are really important classes for differentiating, kind of making purchase decisions. But each one has its own set of testing that goes along with it. The THX Dominus category is twice the size and twice the power required for the THX Ultra. So it's a much bigger room, much bigger volume to fill. So you need much higher output for that. But then we go for like 500 for these subwoofers. It's about 500 tests. I mean, we're really interested in the size of the room, the distortion. Is that really important characteristic that we look into in many, many aspects? I mean, there's, peaks and program, and, there's, kind of frequency response, low end response, so there are a lot of different characteristics we kind of look at. These are powered products, so looking at, the amplifier and speaker combination together as one rather than two different separate components. The requirements for the amplifier in Dominus that are different than for Ultra, as well as for the speaker itself. So these X15s perform, they're at the highest level of products. So congratulations, M&K, for doing a great job on making some great product there.
Thank you.
Yeah, but looking throughout the other classes, the V class, I mean that's a lot of punch in a little box, right there. So that's might be more for someone who's looking at sort of a smaller space, and they need to fit in a powerful product into a little area. You can put in this sort of sound cube, this power cube, I guess you could say, into your room. And the larger the room is, you can actually just add more subwoofers. So that's one of the great things about the low frequency is it's something you can add more product to increase your performance. It's not purely, as you would say, for an LCR or something where you have a horn and a certain amount of power and directivity for the mid and high frequencies. You can add 2 subwoofers, and you want a giant subwoofer, giant room, you can add 4 subwoofers you want. You're using a multiple subwoofer technique in a room where you're trying to do constructive and destructive modes.
Yeah, or if it's like my theater, you just say, let's just go 8. Let's just start
go 8.
with 8.
Yeah, right. And you're gonna put them all in the front, right?
Well, that's the 8 across the front. Yeah, but you need
right.
some near field in the rear too, for that tactile, right? So that's a good starting point.
Yeah. I've been in some places where my eyes rattle literally from subwoofers. So it's some people go overboard in a really good way. Actually, we have a trailer. I don't know if you guys all know this. It's called Amazing Life. It's one more of that sort of with flowers and plants and things trailer that we have. And it's called Amazing Life, but I miswrote it one time after being in the studio. It's called Amazing LFE is what I called it.
You guys should make that one.
Yeah.
That one we get 1 million views on YouTube. Absolutely. THX Amazing LFE. I guarantee you that one would go bananas.
It's got 17 hertz in it, so we'll see if it's I think it might break the limits of the format, but we'll look into that.
So let me just make a couple of comments. So over the years I've used a lot of different equipment, and one thing that I've always found as a really good indicator of quality and performance has been the THX certification. And I can't think of a time that I used a THX certified product that didn't meet my expectation for that product, right? Obviously, you're not going to get THX certified computer speakers and use them in your home theater, right? There's a different use case.
Categories.
But for that category, everything's always been superb. So to see that this X15 Plus is Dominus certified, if folks haven't used a Dominus certified subwoofer before, when they get their hands on this thing, they're going to be in for a nice surprise, because it is if the X15 kind of follows the road for this certification, it is a absolute monster.
It's a big one. It is. But what we're seeing is obviously, as well as THX, home cinema is getting bigger and bigger. And that's also, I assume, the reason why THX defined the Dominus program. And it is actually some sort of a consumer help. You don't have to take my word for the fact that the M&K speaker is a good loudspeaker, because THX did certify it. They did measure, they did test the distortion, the sound pressure level, and it met certain criteria there. So although I would like you to take my word for it when I say I make good speakers, it's kind of a blueprint, a stamp, approval stamp that this is actually living up to certain standards.
Right. And one thing I'll add on to that, when you talk about that, that external third-party validation of performance, you have folks like me out in the world, and, I'll create content around devices, and I'll do some measurements, and I'll give kind of a subjective point of view. And there's a lot of value in that kind of stuff. But the value that THX really brings is that it's a very structured and rigorous testing process that they put equipment through that really isn't open to variability. So, and it's been consistent for years and years, right? I mean, so, it's a really good bar by which you can measure equipment that has a long history, which I really, really appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sound and physics are kind of the same. They don't change much over time. You may have different goals, different technologies that you want to have to achieve those things, right? But when you're looking at 20 to 20, that's 20 to 20. It hasn't changed in
right.
since hearing, right? So but and we're looking to reproduce the entire frequency band. So when we put together these these tests and specifications, it is designed to do those, right? And so when you get to work with a partner like McCoy and work on their products. It's great to work together as a team. I really appreciate the dialogues and everything we've done, Per, on these products, because it's really been a team effort and working on them, and the results speak for themselves. I think. I mean, it's just a really great thing, and it is rigorous. I mean, we pay a lot of attention to detail and look at a lot of things, and we want to make sure that when we put that stamp on there, that logo, that it we can look at that and say, what, I don't have to worry about it. That THX is on there, and I know exactly what I'm getting. It's going to be great.
That's awesome. Yeah, and if people have any questions around what's THX certified, what is not, obviously it'll be on the McCoy Sound website, but there's also a link I'll put down below, a product finder on the THX site that they can look up McCoy Sound products there and identify which ones are certified. Now I want to get back into the subwoofers a little bit, right? Because I like I said, I love the gadgets. So let me pull the website back up, and I want to talk through, I guess, the V series first a little bit, and then we'll go through the X. Yeah. So all of these are, like you said before, traditional sealed, and I think everything that you build is sealed. And these come in what I consider to be a very elegant package, right? So, they are about as small as you can get for the size of the driver. They come with an awesome grill for the front, and that obviously is magnetic because you don't see any of those silly holes in the front for posts that I really dislike. And then on the back, you've got a very straightforward amplification setup. So it looks like you've got your inputs here, you've got a mono here, and then this is a volume.
Yeah, well, that's because THX wanted it. So because this one, actually the V12 and the V15 is controlled via an app. So you go to the web store, or to what do you call that, Apple Store or Google, and you download our app, and you can control that. Now, if you do it, a lot of our products are actually being installed by a custom installer or something like that. They will be able to go in and do adjustments to the speaker and the frequencies and so on, or you can do it yourself if you know how to operate the program there. But we decided that these app-controlled BLEs were actually at a level now where they contributed to the performance of the product. We felt, and I felt that was it took a little while until we were there, but we decided that it was there now. So we introduced that on the two of the bigger models. Obviously not the smaller one, because we thought it's typically something that you would set up in a smaller setup, maybe a living room stereo system, whatever. But you have basically the same adjustment opportunities on the smaller one, but it's it's very analog, so you get some exercise while adjusting as well.
Right. So I put up an image of the V10 Plus so people can see.
You have the phase, you have the volume, and you have the crossover, which is the key things there. And you have some room correction on the BLE version, the 12 and the 15. So obviously you have more options on the two bigger models there.
No, I think that addition in the technology stack is very relevant. And, you know, I think that has become over time more and more of a kind of a standard feature that people have. I don't know if they have come to expect it, but I think have come to appreciate, right? Because it's, you know, there's not a lot of times that you'll want to use it, but there are times when you sit down, right, and you want to tune, and you want to be able to sit and listen, right? And it's much easier to make a change, right, rather on your phone, rather than let me get a turn it, let me go back and sit down again, or in my case, I get my 10-year-old. I'm like, no, turn it up 1 decibel, 2 decibels. Like, what do you mean, Dad? It doesn't say decibel. I'm just like, come on, use your ears. He's like, Dad, I'm not sure exactly what 2 decibels sounds like. I'm like, I'm not sure either, but 3 decibels is a little bit. So you know what I mean? It really just kind of improves that experience. I like that a lot.
But as I said previously, we feel, and that's our philosophy, we don't put it in until it actually does something. We don't want to spend whatever money on development and so on. We continuously check what is happening out there, but until it becomes something that really does something that is good for the product and the performance of the product, we're not going to introduce it. It's as simple as that. And that's basically why we are represented, besides the fact that we have a lot of very loyal M&K users around the world, especially in the States. We're also the choice of professionals. So we have people that actually use our products as their tool. We are their tool. And if we mess up things, we are not their choice of the tool anymore. So that's a key thing for me to say that. I don't know if I can say that, but I call it the people with the big ears, the ones that know exactly what they're listening for and why, and can do all these things with effects and so on. When they can use our products, then I know that we have done it a good job, and that's our approval on that side.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the ones that I'm super excited about. Not that I'm not excited about all of them, but
a little more interesting.
But the X series, I mean, these are. Let me share this back up on the screen again. I mean, these are just absolutely beasts. And if you look at this X15, I mean, there's some stuff going on here. So okay, all right. So you've got 2 drivers, and you can see them, right? So you've got this one here in the bottom, you got this one here in the top. So double the cone area. I would assume higher amplification numbers. Now, are these playing in phase or out of phase? So, you know, as this one in the front pushes out, does the one in the bottom push out so that they're like this? Are they kind of pushing against each other? How does that work, and what value does that, you know, bring?
Great. Yeah.
You know?
So they are out of phase. So they play opposite each other. And the key thing is obviously you want bass, but bass is a lot of things. Now we want tight bass. You know, it's good that it starts quickly, but it has to stop quickly as well. That's a key thing. We don't, which is also one of the reasons for sealing up our cabinets. We don't want, as I said, you can get a lot of bass, but we don't want a lot. Is not necessarily what we're looking for. We're looking for precise bass. Having two drivers working this way means that we minimize distortion, because they work opposite of each other. The 2 drivers work opposite, and any distortion that they do generate will be eliminated in the cabinet. So that's one of our key things is that we want to make sure that it gets as little distortion as possible. We also want to make them as compact as we possibly can and still get our THX certification.
Right.
We meet their requirements. And you could say, well, what's the idea of going down to 18 hertz or 16 hertz or whatever? Because you can't hear it anyways. But the fact that it's there and you know that it's precise all the way down there, that's a key thing for us. That we know it will deliver what it should deliver, and it should be precise. As I said, one of the key things is it's great that it starts quickly and precisely, but it has to stop as well. So those are the reasons for doing that configuration, and we have been using the push-pull technology together with some other technologies that we kind of find relevant for many years. Now we are almost 50-year-old company, and these are one of the technologies that we really honor and feel that brings something to the listener.
Yeah, it also looks really cool too.
It does.
I mean, it looks like a monster is what it looks like, because you could accomplish the same thing by making this box taller and showing the front of both subwoofers and just reversing the leads, right? And it would do the same kind of thing. But I appreciate the way that you guys have designed this, because this helps reduce the size of the enclosure. And if you're in what I call a retrofit room, and that's, most people will have a room in their home, whether it's their living room or an extra bedroom or some kind of bonus room in the basement, and they'll say, okay, I'm turning this into a theater. But they're not going to go through and spend $50,000-$60,000 to rip out the drywall and renovate, rebuild it, and put it, everything in the walls, all this kind of stuff. They're going to buy components, they're going to set it up and make it look nice. And when you do that, the subs are always the painful part, at least for me, because you start getting into the larger boxes as you get into higher performance pieces of equipment. And if you wanted to put 4 of the X15 pluses in your room, which is what I would recommend that everybody do, 4 of those.
Me too.
Yeah. It starts to take up space, right? So, I appreciate the way that you've designed these, not only being sealed, but also the way that driver is kind of slid around to the bottom. It makes it smaller. As far as just the
compact is a big thing for us. If we can make it compact, we will. Yeah,
it's a very big deal.
Which is also why when you look at our website and you look at our products, we don't do full range speakers at all.
Right.
We only do sub satellites. That's our philosophy, and that's how we think sound should be reproduced.
No, that's awesome.
We're talking taste, so there are many variations of taste, but that's our path, at least.
Right. And now, as far as the technology stack on these, let me bring this back in. If you look at the rear of the X15, and you can tell us if this is the same for the 12 and the 10. You see the amplifier plate. You start getting into what I would consider to be a more high-end features, or even more pro features, if you want to think about it that way too, because you get into XLR input, whereas before you were looking at RCAs. And then it appears that you've got the full set of analog dials on the X15 Plus, but also you have access to the app. Is that correct?
Nope. We decided, because this is what we consider a high-end product, and the people that if you have if you're that willing to get an X15 and carry it down to your basement, then you really
you and your friends,
in my opinion, because it's a big thing. No, when you buy an X series, you typically also have either a custom installer who knows what they have and they will do the setting correctly, or you yourself know what you have in your hands. So they will be able to set this up. And I would say probably 95% of the studios where we put in speakers, whether that is music or movie studios or gaming studios, they all do the X series, the push-pull, with the variation. And you don't need to have, you have all the options on that amp. So that works. And it's a more pro-type product, so to say, but obviously it goes in a lot of the home cinemas around the world.
Right. And I really do like the XLR connectivity on the back there, because I've run, so initially when I put things together, I pulled RCA cables through my walls, and after a while I decided, okay, no, this isn't going to work for me. And now I've got XLR pulled everywhere. So for me, that's actually a feature that I look for on any powered subwoofer that I ever purchase.
Yeah.
And for the most part, if there is not XLR input, then I'm going to take a pass on it. And there are a number of reasons for that, but I do think that once you move up, it's kind of a notch up, I guess you would say, in technology and use case for the sub. So something very interesting for folks to look at. Depending on your environment, that might be something useful to you. And for me, I really appreciate that you have it on there.
You have both options on the X series. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, I think our time is starting to draw down toward an end, but maybe the most important question is, if you're a consumer, where do you buy this stuff from? So because you're not going to see an M&K store hanging around. So where do you make purchases for?
No, that's the history of the past, right? With stores where you could actually go and get a demo. My suggestion is that everyone, if you're interested, look us up on our website. We have an American association as well, and we'll be more than willing to help you, guide you towards either a dealer or a custom installer that can help you out. So that's my suggestion. Yeah.
Great. Now, are you going to be showing at any of the shows coming up, any of the audio video shows that'll be happening in the near future, since those things are a thing again? It's really exciting.
It's a new world. So well, I don't know if I mentioned, but we're located in Denmark, in Europe. We'll have 2 shows coming up, ISE, which is in Barcelona, from early May. And then the following week, there will be High End in Munich, in Germany. And those are the ones that I know is running, and we will be participating there.
Right. And both of those shows are
anyone in Munich. There's a live demo facility there with some new products. You could say now we've done a Dominus subwoofer. We already have, not that you should be familiar, but we have an S300, which basically qualifies as the side and rear as Dominus speaker. Sure. So what we're missing is probably the fronts, and it could be that we were showing something down that road.
That would be outstanding to see a CLR, left, center, and right, Dominus certified M&K sound speaker. That's exciting news. That
we as I said, we are also seeing people investing in home theaters, whether those are smaller or bigger, more professional home theaters. But what we're seeing is obviously that the streaming quality, what you can get on your live stream, is of much better quality. We see that the production, obviously the Netflix and what have you, they're making so much money that they actually do very nice productions. They spend the money for the right actors, for the right instructors, for the right soundstage, and so on and so forth. So we also see that you get some productions that are really justified on a good system, whether that is video or audio. Of course, I think I'll mention what a famous guy who made the Star Wars said. He said that probably 70% of the experience of a movie is the sound, and I'm all in for that. So we're seeing a dramatic increase in people who want to invest. And obviously, if you have a flat panel, there's a limit to how much sound you can get out of a flat panel.
And the limit's way down here.
It is going to be all uniform.
There's not much to it. No, that's great. So Steve, any final thoughts from you on the THX side on these items?
No, just another congratulations, to M&K and Per on the great work they've done on these products. You've put a lot of power in a really small space, and with super high performance. So he's been a great job, on this series and these 2 series of products, and we look forward to working with him again in the future on a lot of things. So
and likewise,
that's awesome. And so for everybody out there, that's interested in the products, over time, I'm going to release some video content around these items, so you can kind of get an idea of what it might be like if you wanted to purchase these and bring them into your home and set them up. So, I'll go through the steps of taking these things out of the boxes and looking at them and talking about the features and setting them up, and I'll measure them so you can see what in-room measurements kind of look like. So, I would expect that you get a little room gain, so you get a little more low end than what's listed in the specifications and that kind of thing. So it'll be fun to measure those and see what it does in room in the home theater fanatics basement cinema. But it'll give you a taste of what this might be like if you wanted to put these in your own theater. So I'm really excited, and that'll be coming out in the coming weeks and months over time. It takes a while to produce all the content for all these things, but I'm super excited for that and to help tell that story. So Steve, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us, Jiles. It's much appreciated.
Absolutely. And to everybody out there, we'll move on. And the next segment, I'm going to take some questions from the audience about this or anything else that you're interested in talking about. So get those fired up, and we'll start going over those in just a second. All right. It's time for questions. And let's see what we've got going on. I know there are a few that have come across. So let's see. Let me start, Gary. So sad to see your X15 doesn't cater for high-level inputs like rail subwoofers. I have no idea what the reason is, although high-level inputs is almost exclusively the territory of two-channel audio. So I think in general, rail caters more toward the two-channel crowd, and this is catered more toward devices that are going to have upstream processors and crossover and that kind of stuff. At least I would guess. I mean, I don't know for sure why, but that's my guess there. So LCR dominance in game, yeah, it would be cool to see that. That would be pretty awesome. So thanks for the kind words. A7 last 83. Let's see. Okay. Why is there such a big weight difference between the X15 Plus and the Perlison? I don't know that Perlison and MK work together on their design, so I don't know that there's a direct comparison there. I don't know that maybe the the Perlison's lined with metal or something. Who knows? But I've not seen the dual 15 from either company. I've seen the dual 12 from the M&K, and I've got that, and content will be coming soon for that one. But I couldn't tell you why there's a weight difference there. Maybe one's using neo magnet. Maybe the Perlison is using ferrite magnets, and the M&K sounds using neo. That's one of the biggest reasons you would see a weight discrepancy. Because the ferrous magnets are just hugely heavy compared to neo, so that could be it. I don't know. That's just a conjecture. So ported or sealed. So these are all sealed. I do not believe that M&K Sound produces a ported subwoofer. I don't believe they do. I think everything is all sealed all the time. And that's just the design philosophy they use. They try and stay away from phase change under port tuning and that kind of stuff, and they want the deeper extension of those kinds of things. So that is my understanding there. I agree that it's easier to there's some places to grab on the X15, so that's absolutely true. I agree with that. Did I skip some questions? Maybe not. Let's see what else we got here as we go up. So yeah, we talked about the direct sales a bit. They're all in the channel, so there's nothing direct there. And then how does the M&K X15 compare with the Perlison D215S? That's a great question. Hopefully I can get both companies to send me the subs so I could do that comparison, and then we could know for sure. They are both Dominus certified from THX, so they all hit that minimum level. of output and specification, but I don't know what the top end is on those two guys. Not much information about either one of those available now anywhere really. Anything else that I missed? So there was a question, I think I can't find it now, but what companies are have THX certified gear? And I was looking, and you can pull up the THX product finder and look and see what is all out there. But for THX Dominus subwoofers, the only two that I recall seeing were the McCoy Sound and the Perlison. I don't remember seeing another Dominus. So Monoprice has Ultra. I'm looking at it now. So their M210 is Ultra, the M215 is Ultra, M212 is Ultra. Maybe I can actually share this. Here, let me share this for everybody so you can see. Share screen. What is this? No, in a different browser. Let me put it over here. And we can everybody see what's going on with this. Okay. So anybody can go and find this on the THX website. But if you look at like Monoprice, for an example, you can pop in here and you can see that the Monolith 16 is Ultra. The Monolith 15 is Ultra. Monolith 13 is Ultra. So they have a lot of Ultra stuff, but no Dominus. Then if you look at Perlison, so their D212S is Dominus, D15S Dominus, D12S Dominus. So their 4 subwoofers are Dominus, and everything else looks. Oh, the towers are Dominus too. So they've got quite a bit of stuff. And then if you come back to McCoy Sound, there we go. And let's see, we've got a lot of selects like 2, Ultra 2. And this is the stuff they were talking about or hinting at might be Dominus in the future. And then you get down to the subwoofer. So you get select 2, select Ultra 2 on this older X12. And then you get Dominus on the X15 Plus. So looks like they're rocking the flagship in the Dominus line. So, that's kind of what's going on the certification stuff. Price, I don't know what the prices are. They're in the several thousands of dollars. I think the X12 Plus is in the $3,000 or $4,000 price. If you want the specifics, make sure you subscribe to Home Theater Fanatics on YouTube. And when the review video comes out, I'll have all those details in there for you, Alcazar. Remember that McCoy Sound is selling in the channel only, meaning that you have to buy from a retailer somewhere that's not direct. So they don't have like a website and go buy and have stuff delivered. They're still leveraging the partner network for that. So join late. So this may have been covered. Is the XLR output after the crossover? Is it pass through only? I have no idea. That'll be another thing that I can look at in the video and see if I can get those details for you. Please compare the DIY subs you're used to. So the DIY subs are different, right? So most of those are all ported, and I'm trying to move everything over to Seal because I really prefer that. The short answer for DIY subs versus this kind of sub is this kind of sub looks better, is going to have great performance, it's going to sound good. The DIY sub is going to be cheap, and they're designed to be super loud. They can still give a really great performance and really, really great in-room experience, but they're completely targeted toward different markets, right? So anybody who would buy a Perlison or an McCoy sound subwoofer is not going to be a person that would buy the DIY. And typically folks that are looking at DIY kits and that kind of stuff would never consider buying on the other side. So really, it's like comparing, like I'm going to buy a Ford F-250 versus a Ferrari or a Maserati or something. They're both vehicles and they both carry you places, but they're really, really different in, you know, how they do things and that kind of stuff. So that's not really a good comparison. Can you get us a discount? No. I cannot. I can't even get myself a discount. That'd be awesome if I could. Is the MK better than what you're currently running? So I don't have anything that's directly comparable to the M&K. So the M&K that I have in for testing right now is a dual 12, and I don't have any other subwoofer that is in that form factor whatsoever. I've got sealed 15, I've got ported 18s, I've got sealed 18s, but no sealed dual 21s or 12s rather. Man, a sealed dual 21 would be crazy. So I don't really have an answer for that. It's different. It's just different than what I'm running. Price tag on the 10. I don't know that one. Again, all this stuff is through dealers, so that's going to be the best way to get those prices. And I'm sure you can Google and get some kind of MSRP on that, but I'm not sure. For these would be out of control. AA, I would feel absolutely comfortable having heard the dual 12 with pulling all the subs out of my room and putting 2 of the dual 12s in front and 2 of the dual 15s in back. And I think I'd be super, super, super happy with the performance in my room. I don't think I would ever come close to scratching the surface of the amount of output that they're going to throw out there. But remember, I'm not like a super bass head. I just like really, really nice bass that plays really, really deep and clean. And that's what these excel at. And they'll hit that 115 decibels down to probably with those 4 down to 10 or less hertz in room kind of thing. So you'll never want for bass. I won't get one. So there is no world in which I would get 4 of these, as that I will never get one of these. So yeah, I hope to be able to do the review on the double 12, which I'm doing now, and then a review of the dual 15 down the road when they build more of them. They're the ones that they have constructed are all committed, meaning as far as I know that partners have bought them all up, and if you want to buy one, you got to buy them from a partner. So they don't even have any more in the warehouse to be like, hey man, here's one you can go do a review on. So after the next production run, which will be toward the end of the year, I've got one of those earmarked, hopefully for content, unless they sell them all, and then wait for the next batch. AA, I don't know the answer to that question. I talked to Mike earlier on the phone today, but I don't know what he's up to. I know he was working on some content earlier today. He's trying to decide what his next video is going to be. So if you want him to do anything in particular, drop him a note so he can take that into consideration as he plans his next masterpiece of YouTube artistry. Yeah, no problem, Gary. I would really love to compare those two. The dual Perlison and the dual M&K, both Dominus. Man, those are some beasts. Now I've looked at the single 15 from Perlison, and it is just crazy good. I mean, it was flat in my room down to 10 hertz, really loud. I forget exactly what it was. You can go back and watch the video if you want to see the measurements there. And there was even more left in the tank. I didn't want to blow the thing up. You get scared after a while. The whole room's coming apart, and you're like, "Can it do more?" I'm like, "This is enough. Tap out." But it was really awesome. I really enjoyed testing that D15S. It was really cool. Man, the 215S is just got to be redonkulous. Probably 3 to 6 decibels more than that. They double the power and double the conage, so to speak. So that's what I would expect to get out of that thing. So even super crazy. Awesome. So I put out the little teaser unboxing video. So it's that like 58-second long video. There'll be a full length unboxing and specifications video that I hope to drop this weekend. If I still need to finish it. Yeah, and I've got to finish a Samsung M8 monitor review video too. So those are the two that I'm tag teaming right now, working on. And they're both kind of time sensitive. I think the Samsung's actually a little more time sensitive, but I do want to get this this unboxing and specs video out ASAP. So my plan is this weekend, and then the following week would be the setup, the review, and then the measurements of the X12 Plus. So that's my hopeful schedule. One this weekend, and then one the following weekend. So that's what I'm shooting for. Mike made you buy a CD player, but he's all about the CDs. Good stuff. I actually have like 9 CDs now, which for me is a lot of physical media on the CD side. I'm still a huge streamer guy, as everybody knows. But I have a handful of old Telart digital discs that are going on, I don't know, 30 years old now or something like that. That I just love, and I'm trying to collect all of those because I had them all when I was a kid, but you know, as time goes by, the stuff went away and moved around a bunch, and who knows what happened to those CDs. But I really want to go back and rebuy all of those Telart discs. You know, it's like it's Eric Kunzel and the Cincinnati Pops, and they do like all the movie music, sound score stuff, and they have like an 1812 version that's got cannons in it and all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. Mike needs to feature on one of his videos 9 CDs. Pick on Mike. He moved down to Colorado Springs, and it's been kind of tough for us to connect since he moved down there. But I'm game, and I would love to. I'd love to do the next bookshelf battle or the next tower tussle. Or the first one, really. And I've got all that gear laid out and ready for those. So I'd love to do those at any time. But as far as CD players go, I'm hoping to show the Hi-Fi Rose CD player that's built specifically for their streamer, which I think is pretty cool. And it can rip your discs and store it internally on the box. So I dropped a little video where I install a SSD inside of the RS-150, and a little sad because I need to put in a couple more screws because I didn't even notice there's some holes on the side of that tray, which makes things a little sturdier. It's fine without it, but you know, it'd be better with. So I need to pull that back out and put those screws in. But then when you use the USB attached transport, CD transport, then you can automatically rip using the tool, which is really cool because I want to rip all of those Telart discs that I have and then be able to play them off the hard drive. Then I don't have to go in and out and take discs and put in this thing because that's super annoying. So I want to do a CD for that, and I've been talking with the folks over at MoFi Distribution who distribute Hi-Fi Roads in the United States, and Lenny said he would hook me up with one of the CD players or transports, USB transports. So I'm crossing my fingers on that one. So if anybody knows Lenny at MoFi, tell him hurry up, send it over, because I'll make that video as soon as it comes out. It comes to me, because that should be a pretty fast one to make, and it'll be pretty cool. But I just absolutely love that streamer. It's my favorite of anything on the market. It's just amazing. It's got great DACs in it. It's a preamp if you want it to be, and just so good. Natively plays Cobuzz and everything else. You can use it as a room target, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just super cool. And it does video. Yeah, you can use it to play video files, and it's got a HDMI output if you want to use it in that scenario. So if you've got like a 2-channel, if you want to do like a 2-channel system with television, you could totally do that, right? So you could, it's super cool. It's really awesome. So Mark, so Mike did, he's got the 12-inch of the D12S. And I actually have like 9 subwoofers sitting in my basement right now to do a comparison video. So I've got the Perlison D15S. I've got the Velodyne Deep Blue 15. I've got the Stark Sound D50, or the Stark Sound SW15. I've got the SVS SB 2000 or 1000. I've got the old Velodyne DD Plus 18. I've got the GSG Audio 8-10-inch ported box, Marty Cube with I forget what I've got in there. I've got the one that you get from Parts Express. I keep wanting to call it the UM18. So that driver's in there. What else do I have? So I just, I kind of want to just show them all playing and then show the measurements and charts and stuff so you can kind of see the difference. And I've got a lot of these measurements already done, so I just need to take these new ones, and I'll have information from the this new M&K sound sub that I can put in there too, which will be pretty awesome. I do think I have more subwoofers than CDs in this house, which is really strange and crazy. Please do send Mike a note and tell him to get over here and let's make some videos. I'd appreciate that. All right. All right, we are getting close to time, so if there are any other questions, please let me know. But otherwise, please take some time to like and subscribe to the channel. You can find me at Home Theater Fanatics on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and then it's at HT_Fanatics on Twitter. Although, one thing that I'm thinking about doing is since I cover more than just home theater, because I cover 2-channel and then technology, you guys have seen my computer bills, and I did like the glasses with speakers and all kinds of stuff, right? So I cover a lot of different technology. I've got a Hisense ultra short throw projector and screen coming in that I'm going to do a review on. I plan to do some televisions and stuff, and I did that Samsung frame and then the computer monitors from Samsung. So I do lots of different things. So I'm thinking about just changing my channel name to just Jiles McCoy Tech and Hi-Fi. Right, to make it a little more general and approachable for people. So I'm curious what everybody out there thinks about that. If you like it or hate it, feel free to let me know one way or another. But I'm considering that. See, it would be kind of like what I have on my name right now, where it says Jiles McCoy Tech and Hi-Fi. So that's kind of the idea that's floating around in my head. This show would stay the same, obviously. So no change there. I'm keeping the grind going. YouTube decides that it loves some people, and then some of us get to grind, and I think I'm in the grind right now. But one day that breakout will come, and bam, there'll be 50,000 subscribers in 2 months. But between now and then, it's the grind for me. I'll keep on doing that. Yeah, please do tell your friends to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Like 79,000 more to go, but that is the goal, right? So I do want to get that silver plaque from YouTube. That would be pretty outstanding. Yeah, no, Randy's done great. He's kicking butt, and I'm really happy for him. He does it full time, and he releases content like every day. I have a full-time career, so this is kind of like a side hustle for me. So I can't create the content and have nearly the kind of engagement that someone who does it full time does. But not to detract from his achievement, because he's done a really great job. And he really went into that inexpensive, cheap kind of niche, and that's the best way to really grow a market. You pick something, you deep dive into it, and that's what he did. He's all like, everything's $500 and down, or whatever it was, and this is kind of stuff that I'm going to cover, and that's good for him to kind of build that audience there. I choose things basically along the lines of, okay, this is something I want to look at. So expensive or cheap or computer related or hi-fi or whatever it might be, you get a kind of a broad set of videos. And Mike always, he berates me. He's like, dude, you got to be more specific with your channel. You're not doing it the right way. I'm like, I know, but I'm going to take a vacation, and guess what? I'm going to make a travel video while on vacation. And I'm just going to do it. Right. And if people want to watch, great. If not, that's okay too. But I'm doing it, because I enjoy it and want to. All right. So next week, let me look and see. So the schedule is about to get real squirrely for me, because I'm going to be on vacation overseas for a little while, and I'm going to try and get some pre-records and stuff done for that. Samsung will be one of those. So they're going to be talking about the new soundbar. So I'm really happy to have Samsung back with us. But let me see if I can find the schedule here. All right. So today's the 10th. On let's see. Okay, so all right, next week, May 17th, I should have Hi-Fi Turtle and Bass Therapy on for a late night stream. I have to do a presentation for City Council, which happens to be on Tuesday. As you know, that's my real job, right? For some important infrastructure projects that are going on. So I'm going to be doing a presentation there. So I won't get home till late. So the plan is to stream with them. Then we have a big announcement from KEF on May 24th. Modulus is going to be on with us May 31st, and this is the source, home theater source that you may not have heard of, but rocks pretty hard. June 7th, we're going to have the Home Entertainment Show on with the lead up to the Home Entertainment Show in Long Beach, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to be there, and I'll be covering the show for everybody, so I'm really excited about that one. And then I'm going to have some pre-recordeds for a handful of weeks after that. As I'm out traveling, I will try to jump on as I can, but we'll see. And then beyond that, things are a little murkier. I've got Trinov in July. I've got Andover in July. I've got Stark Sound in July. And that's kind of as far as I've got planned out at this point. So tons of good stuff covering everything from vinyl to record players to home theater to speakers to trade shows. There's a lot of good content out there that I'm excited about and excited to bring to everybody. I will be doing a number of videos, and I plan to try and find at least one hi-fi shop overseas and do a quick show there, interview, and show how people consume their hi-fi in other parts of the world. I think that'll be pretty cool to see. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Again, please take a moment, like and subscribe, drop comments, share this stuff around, ask your friends to subscribe, hit them in the nose if they don't, because they're obviously doing something wrong. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.